Infernal Shrines, ladies, game on! We're looking at the third playoff match. The round of 8 continues. The best of 5. France against Russia. Yeah, we're getting ready for the playoffs, guys. More and more matches are coming in. And today we have a good one. This is actually a quite... well, potentially. It is supposed to be a really close one. Already we had some pretty insane games. I mean, Germany versus Sweden was quite a surprise, to be honest with you. A couple of insane comebacks there too, if you haven't watched that yet. If you actually watch this on YouTube, usual deal again, hit that subscribe button on YouTube. It helps the channel to grow. A like on the video is always welcome too. And of course, quick shout out, if you want to check out the live stream of all of these events, you can go to Khaldor.tv. There's a live stream schedule. There's additional information around these events as well. So check it out right there. We built a new website so that you guys have a bit more of a place where you can inform yourself. Pretty easy, Khaldor.tv. As we're heading into this first map though, Infernal Shrines, Russia against France should be a strong one. And I'm pretty excited. I mean, we had already a couple of attempts to go into Nazebo. Apparently, as we said yesterday with the German match, it wasn't necessarily that they said, okay, Nazebo is now amazing. It was more so that they had a bit of a problem in the draft because they had to play with a sub and then they needed to shift their draft attention a little bit. And all of a sudden, Nazebo was one of the few characters left that fit into that position. But with the new changes to his level 1 talent, I could still see him getting played a few times, especially on maps that are more or less guaranteed to get to level 20. Volskaya Foundry would be a very good example, which is exactly the map where we saw the hero played already once in the Nations Cup. Now, with that in mind, I also want to throw out real quickly that obviously when you look at the Nations Cup, it's not the best play in Europe right now. It's actually the farther we're going into the tournament, obviously the level of play is just rising continuously, but most of the teams that really win tournaments, end up in the finals of every single tournament, like Washed Up, like Lauber's Fan Club, those are the teams that normally are a bit of a mix of several countries. I guess with Lauber's Fan Club it's a little bit different because a lot of the guys over there are Swedish, but most of the countries still mix the players there. So just to throw that out a little bit, we might see more variation here. Ooh, Vanilla with a Rhaegar first pick on Infernal Shrines. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great map for Rhaegar. Lightning Shield on the Shrine is fantastic, and getting more camp control is also great. But I did not really see him move into a first pick position here for the team. Banana H can't get his Ana. Malfurion is still up. In theory, you could also go, of course, for the Dragon Queen if you really want here. So maybe we're going to see some plays around that. But first of all, I mean, Johanna is up. There we go. Johanna is taken. This is one of the best skins, I think, for Johanna, honestly. She doesn't really have a lot of fantastic skins, which is a little bit sad. But this one is actually pretty decent. It's kind of solid. Yeah, Hanzo is also taken. Early pick for a long time. So, well, with that in mind, let's have a little bit of a look there. First of all, on Infernal Shrines, you need the wave clear. Blaze on the offlane is always nice for that, if you want to get him. Ooh, Chen is also not too bad. I mean, Chen has a lot of AoE too. And the Panda is in action, as we have Nano P on Jaina. And Nano P kind of crushed on a few of the majors already. I think it was the Volskaya Foundry game that they played in their last series, where he just absolutely popped off and murdered opponents. So we'll see if he can pull the same off today too. With Chen is actually a little bit interesting, because if you go for Blaze here and you have a jet propulsion to set kills from Jaina up a little bit easier, Chen of course can jump into the backline at any point with the triple Panda after level 10 and really wreak havoc. So that's another asset for him. But with the ban patterns, what are they going to ban out against France? Keep in mind that this is actually Kieva. The 100 Joule account is Kieva Smurf. And Kieva is known for his off-meta picks, especially, of course, around Simuro and shit like that. So there is a chance that he's going to jump into a couple of those later on during this game. Interestingly, since we talk about Nazebo, I don't really think this is going to happen here, but one of the things that happened in the past with French players was actually that on this specific map, they picked Ragnaros with Nazebo. I talked about the story in the past one or so twice, you might have heard it. But the whole thought process was pretty much, we need to get Nazebo to level 20 with Vile Infection, and then we're going to win the game. And Ragnaros is the hero that will enable that for us, because his trait Molten Core is so strong at defeating objectives that even though we have to give up one Punisher after another on Infernal Shrines, we can defend against it with Molten Core and then get Nazebo to 20 to win. It was a really interesting strategy. Was played in HGC back then, nearly worked out. Only problem was they got Nazeebo to 20, and then in the first fight they completely inted, frontlined with Nazeebo, he got killed first, and well, after that, the team that they faced off against just simply snowballed them and took them down. Strategy was still interesting, had a couple of merits. These days Ragnaros is obviously not really the best pick necessarily, and they go into Blaze, which I highlighted previously. But I like the aggression. I think the aggression is interesting that we have from Team Russia. I mean, they have Genji now. There's a Zarya pick, so Blaze is a common need at the front line. And, well, that sets us up for game number 1. Guys, it's a best of 5 series. And I hope that we're going to see a 5-mapper here, because this is most likely going to be a close one. Heavy aggression from the Russians, as usual. And let's see how the French are going to deal with that. Infernal Shrines, map number 1. Game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. The Baguettes against Borscht. As we go onto the blue team with Banana H on Malfurion, Dequaza on Blaze, Kirva on Hanzo, Ixia on Zarya, Masquerade on Johanna. On the right side of the map, Farlander on Genji, Sir Ice Cream on Anubarak, Nano P on Jaina, with Immortal on Chen, and Renella is playing Rega. Alright, the Russians in red, so already an inherent advantage, playing in their favorite color. It's a little bit weird though, Zarya is on the other side of the map, playing for the French team. It's a little bit confusing. Zarya is just sitting there. I don't know what's going on here. I'm playing for French team. It's weird. Drinking wine instead of vodka. Don't like it. But can kill everybody now. Alright, still that needs a little bit of work and not really the best impression here. But I still have 5 maps hopefully to work on that. As we go into the early stage though, let's talk a little bit about this 4-man. If you have Zarya in your midst, then you are looking at a strong 4-man that is trying to break through a couple of structures and lanes. Whereas you look over to Team Russia and they have a pretty heavy dive comp. They're trying to engage with, especially here of course, Anubarak, and follow that up with Genji and Chen. All 3 of them can converge onto the same target, and then Jaina drops the damage. The interesting part with this is that Malfurion would actually have fit this extremely well. Renella decided to not go for it and adds additional wave clear to the team. But if you're just thinking about the dive and nothing else, just the dive aspect of the composition, then Malfurion's route would have gone a long way here. So we'll see how exactly that's going to work out then during the fights. There is of course an element of preference here too. If you're just a Rega player in general, then you might not necessarily want to go into Malfurion. Bottom of the map, camp control, of course, important. Interesting to see that we actually have France going for the more aggressive camp first, so they're trying to lock this one down and then have an easier time taking theirs on the left side. So far, no kill here. So the early skirmish in the mid lane and the interrupt attempts between the rotations have not really been successful. But the Russians are already sitting tight, and now they're falling slightly behind when it comes to the camps, since Ixia together with Banana Age is starting to make the first move. But also Anubarak is sniffing all of that out. And it's a typically Russian composition here. Very aggressive. Anubarak not really a big part of the meta right now. Other heroes have taken over here. Anubarak very vulnerable. So that is sometimes a bit of a problem, but if your entire thought process is to just dive onto your opponent and take them down quickly, then this is of course a bit of a different scenario. You're not trying to go for the long sustained battle, you're also looking at the fast engage with a quick pick, and this is exactly why we're also seeing Undertaking taken right now. And well, let's go. In the middle of the map, there comes Masquerades. The wave clear on Johanna is going to be worth a lot for them in the long run. But let's see, over to the top right, Renella and Farland are already taking the camp. Top left, similar picture, both of the teams very interested of course to take their shaman camps now. Masquerade is just like sniffing this out, just poking a little bit and seeing okay what exactly is going on here. Alright, Banana H, so Ice Cream spawning one beetle and then moving away from this was a little bit of a weird one. That on the other hand was a fantastic stun. And Hanzo is not able to get more damage in as Genji jumps out, so Farlander is still alive. Has to tap the fountain early though, as we have the first objective being fought over, and the teams are both getting ready here. Level 7 talents are still a little bit farther away. Might not even see the teams pick it up during the objective, but it's time to shine. So let's see. And with Time to Shine, I'm not talking about my fantastic hairstyle today. I'm also talking about synergy, and we're seeing it on both sides. Hanzo goes down, and so does Jaina. The damage dealers are already toast, as both of the teams go for the exchange. But Quasar is in a bit of trouble. Gets the nice stun through, but again, a trade in kills. And the Russian team is a bit low and has to fall back for just a moment. Let's see if we still have some fountain cooldowns up, and it doesn't really seem like it. Rega is already moving back, and the French team is moving to the top again. This is a little bit of a weird thing, actually, that we have seen throughout the entire tournament already. The French, known for early defeats, known for being really good at running away and avoiding conflict, but apparently this French team has never gotten the memo. Nobody told them. It's actually amazing. Because instead of seeing them just terrified, they are aggressive as usual and they're jumping in. And all memes aside, by the way, and European stereotypes, let's not forget that France against Russia was actually last year's grand final. So we have this match come early. And this should be an interesting best of 5, one way or another, but I'm really looking forward to the entire series, because I have high hopes for this to be at least 4, if not 5 maps. Nice engage, but here's the problem with the Nubarak. You go in for the dive, you look for the kill, you get shot down, and then you get eliminated. And at this point, the bug report came through, and for once in their life, the Blizzard devs actually did something. So the bug got immediately fixed and gets taken down, and that's an additional kill in the hands of the blue team. France is walking away with a slight advantage, and they're looking for more. Genji, protected by the way, is able to move out, as Chen has taken bot lane control and is trying to give his team a bit more experience, as Immortal also has to run away from this one. Top side then again, Jaina puts the wave clear to some use and helps the team to clear the wave. But so far, for the French, things are looking pretty good. The baguettes are doing work. It's still early on, so probably the Russian vodka hasn't really shown a... Ooh, there's another kill against the Nubarak, and yeah, he is just struggling as a hero these days. An attempt to also drop Jaina, but nope, it ain't happening. Double kill against the Russians. They're having some problem with this. The French are just going full on out with that aggression, and now they have level 10 abilities to top that off even more. Alright, there's the Zarya setup. Ooh, that's a big arrow. Fly like an eagle. Arrow goes straight into nothing, and with that we have 5 kills against 2. By the way, still the little caveat, I have to throw this out because some people don't understand that. If you have such a huge advantage over your opponent, you can throw an arrow like this out without no problem whatsoever. It's a risky arrow. It's high risk, high reward. The chances of you actually hitting that against the hero are pretty much, well, they're slim to none. But if you do hit the hero, you will likely pick up a kill. They got the fort anyways. The thing is, even with them not hitting that arrow, it's not going to matter, because that cooldown is going to be back soon enough for the next fight, and especially for the next objective. So it's definitely one of those situations where the arrow doesn't really matter all that much. A hit would have been great, but still, it's better to throw that arrow out and miss it than not even go for the opportunity. As you can see, now that we have 10 versus 10, he's sitting on 15 seconds, so this is not a problem whatsoever for the blue team. So we're definitely not ripping Hanzo for the choice here, but it's always just fun to follow one of those airball arrows just through it. But yeah. Okay, so little 10 abilities are ready. That gives us the Ring of Frost. Could be a decent setup here also. The Ancestral, we have now a bit of save potential for the Ice Cream. One of the best names, by the way, in Heroes of the Storm. I've said it 5 years ago and I have to say it again. Sir Ice Cream, if that is not a fantastic nickname, then I don't know what is. And I will let you in on a little bit of a secret. We talk a lot about conspiracies these days. We talk about the Russians. We talk about Hillary's emails, her server, Ukraine, and whatnot. Epstein, who obviously didn't kill himself. And there is also another conspiracy: ice cream. People say that ice cream has a lot of calories and is not healthy. That's obviously a lie. The government is lying to you. Why? Very simple. If you think that ice cream is unhealthy, you might eat less. That leaves more ice cream for the government. So that's exactly the reason why they tell you that lie, so that they have more ice cream for themselves. There's actually people who believed I was serious when I said that the first time, a couple of years ago, and shortly afterwards linked me nutritional tables and told me, Khaldor, you're wrong. So yeah, so much for sarcasm. Either way, After I shared that little secret with you, I now have to live my life in fear because the government is going to try and hunt me down to keep their secret. But as we can see, the next objective spawn, level 13 is in, and that means another big advantage for the French team. And you can tell that Russia is not really comfortable with that situation. Neither should they be. Up to the top, that push is great for them, but they can't do anything about the Punisher at this point. So that's a bit of an issue. But let's see. Over here, we have actually Masquerade already trying to see if he can maybe move in. The problem is that Genji is a ninja. He sits at the side, sniffs Johanna out, tells the team what's up. Ice Cream is going to try and move out. Where's the blessed shield when you need it? Not there yet. Alright, they're waiting for the Punisher proc. Fort is down, and the Nubarak dives into now. Oh, the ult on Zarya. The pandas are coming through. There's already a quick cocoon. Punisher is jumping in as well, and here comes the action. Hanzo goes down as Jaina is frosting his beard. And there's the Ancestral to keep NanoP alive as he's trying to go for the second kill. Banana H is about to be attacked. Farlander is already trying to wait for the next engage here. Malfurion is low, but Jaina is on the run, and she's not the only one. Anubarak is also in trouble, and so is Genji. They actually kept Banana H alive and turned the fight around. But Russia is still alive. God knows how, by the way. Nice dodge on the Punisher now too, but Jaina gets wrecked on the left side of the map as they're moving in. And that is that. Ixie and Banana H are already running in, taking the camp while they're there. Pick the Jaina kill, take the camp. So much to do here. But yeah, at this point, 12 stacks also. It is a little bit of a one-sided one so far. Well, I mean, it's not quite right? This is a 2-level advantage, which is great. But a lot of that stems really from the timing of the talent advantage that we saw for France. You look at kills, and it's a different picture. I mean, they were very close throughout the entire game. It's just that the French team played really well around the objective so far and had also, I don't want to even call luck, the foresight to time the... Ooh! Arrow, baby! Yep, and here we go. Nice kill against Jaina. French team with good coordination. I really like it. And this is really well played from the French. They're aggressive, they're pushing their advantages, they're not overstepping. And Russia is just caught in that spot where they just never really can press through that chokehold that France has them in right now. So the Baguettes are absolutely doing their things now, snailing along and trying to take this game with another talent advantage and keep demolished at the bottom of the map. They're playing a very, very solid game here. Extremely disciplined too. And so far, so good. So we'll actually see what Russia can do, but so far, for them to come back into this, they will have to win a team fight. Then again, if you think about how Russia's game against Sweden went on this map, then if there's a little bit of German efficiency on the Russian side, then they can still come back into this. Get your ass kicked the entire game and then win one fight and turn it around. That's still an option. Comeback potential is there, but with the Nubarak dying again, it might start to get a little bit slimmer. Farlander's about to go down, but Genji easily survives with 40 HP. 30 actually, the arrow goes far and wide again, but the Nubarak and Draga have both been demolished. And they're pushing for keep number 2. Yeah, the French, full on aggression. That's actually pretty incredible right now. They're going for the next keep. They're taking one after another. Honestly, there's an argument to be made that they could have gone for core here. They might still try and do that. Doubt it, but still. It's just too much of an advantage right now to throw it at the core. But here comes the engage as the deep dive happens. And the kill against Blaze. Blaze goes down in a blaze of glory. Malfurion, that old geezer, is also dying. And with that, I think we're going to see the third kill coming through too, as Ixer gets attacked next. Number 1 GM player gets eliminated after the cocoon evaporates, and that's 3 kills in favor of Russia. So all of a sudden, they pick up a huge amount of experience, and they actually will have an advantage over the objective top side, in addition to the fact that they're currently on even talents with their opponent again. So that actually works out. 16 versus 16. Damage on Jaina, currently sitting on 30,000. Zarya, top damage on the opponent's side with 31k. And Johanna, Genji, and Chen, the only ones that haven't died yet. At this point, you really just want to push this, but you can already tell Chen has to push out the bot lane. He needs to get rid of the catapults here because the key bot side has been eliminated. And a bit of extra experience doesn't hurt them either. There's the engage potentially from the left side as they're trying to go for it. Oh, get wrecked! And yep, Hanzo gets a little bit bitch slapped around here as he's actually missing the jump and doesn't get over the wall. So with that, France has taken a backseat for that third objective. And they just were about to have 5 men back on the map and back in the fight, but then Hanzo gets taken down. And that's a huge problem now. So all of a sudden you're fighting a 5 versus 4 and Team Russia is starting to pick up a little bit of momentum. And yeah, to use the immortal words of an American player, we scaling, boys! And Russia is certainly thinking so. The Russians are sitting there like, don't worry, they win early game, doesn't matter, we kill them late game. Win one fight, win game, easy, no problem, comeback. Russian team, comeback team, easy peasy. Are they losing a 4 versus 5? Are you fucking kidding me? 3 heroes down, they just got wrecked, big boy arrow, and they just lost a 4 versus 5. I mean, comeback team, yes or no? If you want to come back from this one, then good luck, baby, because that's a full team wipe. 5-man wipe and 2 catapults already on the core. They don't even know how to win that game at this point. I don't even know why they're wasting time up here. Just go and end it. At this point, there's just no problem whatsoever. I can't believe they just got murdered here. That's insane. They just lost the 4 versus 5. Like, are you shitting me? How did that happen? Caster curse incoming, I suppose. But yeah, the Russians, just as they get the important kills in the game, they're getting knocked down in the fight, and now they're losing game number 1 in the best of 5 series. So, boys, that turned quickly after the advantage that they secured for themselves. The French team taking game number 1, taking the lead in the best of 5 here at the round of 8 of the Nations Cup. Towers of Boom, ladies and gentlemen. France against Russia. And what can I say? The French looking good on the first map. Surprisingly good. Now, Towers of Doom? Is that the map where Russia makes a bit of a comeback happen? I gotta still admit that I'm a little bit blown away by the fact that Russia got the important kill against Hanzo topside after they picked up the triple kill in the fight around the keep in the middle. And then I get demolished in a 4 versus 5. Zarya with a great ult, feel the heat, bzzz, and all of a sudden, everybody's dying. But yeah, generally speaking, the Russians did well in that late game fight, and that's really where you can pick up a lot of momentum. So they had a chance here to win the Protector or the Punisher and then play around that and get a little bit of momentum through the top lane. But as it stands, France is in the lead. This is a best of 5 series, of course, so nothing's lost yet. Waiting a long time for that ban, by the way. Holy hell. Hanzo gets eliminated finally. Okay. So they're eliminating that. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky right now. I mean, with the early priority on Rhaegar in the last game, the question is really if you are trying to ban Rhaegar out here, because this is a map where control over the pumpkin camps is quite strong. Usually it's more so an Ana ban that we are seeing, if anything. Especially now that we have Banana H in a position where he could pick up his Ana again. That's something that would concern me. And both of the teams really hesitating on this. And there's the Ana ban again, since France doesn't want to risk Russia to first pick it. Okay. And let's see what we have on the side of the Russians. Because right now, I mean, this is another map, honestly, where Zarya would be quite strong. Remember, what was it? Sweden against Germany, actually just a day or two ago in Towers of Doom, with a strong 4-man thanks to Zarya, and them just absolutely obliterating bot lane. So if you are finding yourself in a situation where that 4-man is becoming absolutely crucial for you and where you feel you have the upper hand through it, then Zarya can really enhance that even more. And on map number 1 we saw that. Another thing that I really want to also put to everybody's attention is that we still have Kiva on the other team. So there's still that Samuro option, especially with an Abathar as a possible follow-up. So I would be a little bit careful if I'm Russia of that, since Kiva loves to do shit like that. And if he pulls that off here, that could be horrible for a team to deal with. If you have to deal with Samuro Cancer and an Abathar on top of him, it's like, whew, baby. But, well, as it stands, ETC, first pick for Sir Ice Cream. So either off lane or main tank. We'll see. Not again. First picks are always a little bit off from what I expect them to go for. But ETC is quite flexible for any draft, so that's good. But this is going to reveal a lot. Abathar is an option. Not really picked as much anymore as in the past, but still great hero if you want to go for that macro aspect game. Especially if you want to play around the Samuro. And with Kiev in the team, you can never count that out. There's Zarya again, and also Li Ming. So yeah, that Zarya pick. Okay, let's see how this works out. Bot lane is super important. You have two camps that focus on the bot lane, and those camps attack the hit points on the core directly, so hyper important. If you get bot lane control, that's great. So in this case, France is going to pick an offlaner that can rotate between two lanes, soak the experience, and try and push the 4-man. Chromie, our little fake dragon, makes it into the game together with Malfurion. And she is correct. Here we go again. So, let's see what the Chromester can pull off. Tracer gets banned out. Yeah, NOP doesn't get any access to these heroes at this point. And what else? What do you ban at this point? What are you afraid of if you are currently Russia, of something that hasn't been picked yet? I mean, you can try and limit the options on the side lane a little bit. ETC is likely going to be in a main tank position because he just doesn't have the side lane capabilities to rotate between two lanes and soak the experience to the extent that Malthael, Leo or Blaze would have. And they get rid of Garrosh. There is that synergy with the speed barrier on level 4 for Zarya and Garrosh, so they try to annihilate that. That's why they banned Garrosh out. But there's Mal'Ganis, and that's a great setup too. And this time it's actually the French team that picks Rhaegar. Again, great for the control of the pumpkin camps. It's a pretty powerful 4-man already as it stands, and Nequaza can now go for any offlaner that he really wants to pick here. Okay. So, with Towers of Doom continuing, what are we gonna get? Last two picks. We need an offlaner. Blaze would be an option. Vala for NOP, okay, and Leo. Space Lord. Oh, the cowgirl. Space Lord Eoric, not bad, but still, the Ice Giant much better. Or the Janitor. All hail the Janitor. Last pick, ladies and gentlemen, and there it is, Samuro. Yeah, Samuro gets picked on the offlane for the French team. With this, we're heading into game number 2. We have no Abathar, but we have Samuro, as small as predicted already for Towers of Doom. And with that, let's head into map number 2, Towers of Doom, and see if France can pick up a second win in this best of 5. Okay, party people, France versus Russia. Banana H on Rhaegar, Kirva on Li Ming, Ixia on Zarya, we have Masquerade on Mal'Ganis, and Nequaza on Samuro. And over to the right side of the map, Fallen on Chromie for the Russians, Nenopy on Vala, Sir Ice Cream on ETC, Immortal on Leoric, and Renella on Malfurion in game number 2. Alright, so a little bit of Vala action, but the hero that I definitely am going to watch out for is the man with a way of the blade, Samuro. Yeah, he can be a nuisance, to say the least. I mean, his global abilities after level 10 are more than just a little bit annoying, and obviously he is fantastic against structures if you leave him alone for a second. Ether Walk on level 1 for Li Ming. And, yep, in the meantime, the Time Walker pursuit for Chromie. Alright, Ixia is also getting a little bit murdered in that fight. There's a little bit of an early split off, but I gotta say that the Russians actually did quite a bit of damage, and they're actually also stopping the rotations with ETC. Pulling that off right now. Sir Ice Cream still zoning them out as much as they can. And Zarya is continuously confused that she finds herself up against the Russians and not with them. So, yep. Apparently a little bit of a mercenary. Not quite sure how much they had to pay her. So, yeah, I don't know what a Russian mercenary goes for these days. But yeah. Either way, at the bottom of the map, Masquerade is currently still doing his thing, and especially with Mal'Ganis, there's of course a lot of setups for Li Ming later on that he could pull off with a good setup on that part. I mean, even for Zarya, honestly. I mean, if he goes in straight with Nightcon and just like Night Rush and puts them to sleep, and then Zarya follows up, plus Li Ming, there's a lot of potential combos that they can execute here. Alright. I'm a little bit more interested in what's happening around the first objective, though, because that triple pick could be interesting, to say the least. Right now, Vala still with the hot pursuit at level 1. Masquerade already a little bit struggling. The synergy, of course, between Renella and So Ice Cream is pretty strong. Ooh, but in the middle, a kill against Zarya. Kicking her gun around a little bit, too. Apparently it's not enough to drop the trader, but they're also kicking her around a little bit. I think the Russians are a little bit mad, and for good reason. They have Zarya on the other side, and she is obviously a traitor, and we all know that Putin doesn't like those. So instead of poisoning her, they just send 2 assassins in this case and take her down straight away. I mean, usual stuff here. Charge Blast on level 4. And a little bit of a rotation into the middle of the map, where Mal'Ganis is trying to set up another potential kill. Vala is going for that hybrid build that we've been discussing the past few days. Again, I've been advocating for this build for a while now, and for good reason. If you're not looking to get maximum value out of Monster Hunter against mercenaries, then this is definitely the better level 1 talent. Sure, you lose out on the mana cost reduction on the arrow, but you get way more mana management through that talent, and in addition to that also some movement speed. So that definitely helps. But, as it stands, we have Farlander already sitting tight. By the way, since I made that poison joke a little bit earlier, think about it for just a second as we have the objective being fought over here. We had actually blood for blood and also a couple of poison spells on heroes like Karrigan and Arthas in the game at some point. As it turns out, the team that was the best with those was, yes, you might have guessed it, all the Russian teams, and then Blizzard, an American company, took that talent away. Coincidence? I don't think so. Just think of the days of old. Quintuple blood for blood and Venom. Who were the players that used those the most? Ha ha ha. And who has been taking it away from them? And what happened to the Russians after that? Exactly, they started losing games. Think about that for a moment. Took me actually a while to discover that. So many conspiracies that we really talk about today. There's a lot of knowledge bombs that are being dropped here. I hope you keep notes. But either way, as it stands, we now have 1 kill against 0, 2 shrines taken or 2 altars taken from Russia, so a bit of momentum after the ass kicking that they received on map number 1. But now, with an earlier level 7 talent, we are starting to see a bit of momentum for them, and I like it. 4 stacks for Vala, that's already a good one. We currently see the repeating arrow taken too, but it's Calamity time. Okay, so a bit more power from Liming herself. The Zarya composition so far hasn't really worked out as well as it did in the previous game, but as I said previously, once level 10 is reached, there is actually a lot of combo potential on their side too. Alright, so let's see. Ixia with a bubble. Samuro is already rotating from lane to lane. Vala missing another arrow, sitting at 5 stacks. But we have the single altar spawning on the map, and that's where the party time really kicks in. We're still sitting top side. Okay, a nice attempt to go for the lockdown as Malfurion lays down the lawn. Get off my lawn! The old man is getting angry again. In comes the old Chromie, bit more damage against Ixia, but look who else is joining the party. It's Samuro. And he's trying to zone them right now. He's not the only one that's coming in. This time, by the way, the party grenade build, in case he didn't catch that yet. Did not go for Feel the Heat in this game. And the interrupts that he can drop are obviously quite powerful right now. So, what else are we currently seeing over there? NNOP is still channeling that through, but they have to go for the fight. Leo goes down, activating the trade value, as the rest of the team is still looking for the win. France is trying to equalize the points on the core, so Ice Cream has to dance around at the front, is putting Liming in a bit of pressure, but also himself. And that's a kill for a kill. Liming goes down, so does ETC. They nearly get Renella, and they're still trying to hunt Malfurion down, but the fight continues at the bottom too. And it could be another death of Leo, and indeed he falls. Malfurion can tap at the fountain and join back into the fight. Another ult from Chromie as Farlander starting to run out of mana. He's not the only one. Vala is in a similar spot, and the 4 shots get fired against the Russians, and that puts us onto 32 points against 32. Big fight, long one as well. And it gives the opportunity to heroes like Vala to get more stacks on their talents, and the level 4 talent is reflecting exactly that. 12 stacks all ready for her. Okay, top side. A little bit more damage against Immortal. Quest is also completed for Chromie, so additional spell power for her. And that means we're going to see her hit a little bit harder. There's the level 10 abilities. And it's the Illusion Master. Shocking. Who would have thought? This is not North America, where some people think it's a great idea to go for the Blade Storm in a normal game. Whoopi disabused Glorang of that notion rather quickly during the BlizzCon finals there. But the expulsion zone for Zarya. But yeah, let's see. Hits keep coming. Bot lane gets defended. And the pumpkins come pushing through too. Top lane, Leo has to be careful because now Samuro is starting to absolutely crush him here. And there we go again. Masquerade is trying to move away here. Alright, Nenopi is moving in too. Here comes the Strafe as they're trying to get some damage in against Ix here. It's not enough just yet. Single altar, again, on the bottom of the map. Chromie already with the advantage. 15 stacks now for the level 4 on Vala. Trying to work on that to get it completed as quickly as possible to get the extra damage. The pew damage as timeout gets taken by Chromie. 26,000 now for Vala. 18,000 for Samuro. And Samuro is doing what Samuro does. He's starting to pressure structures. I mean, just look at this. He's doing his thing. Full on Samuro damage right there. Once again, Masquerade is moving in. Ixia is taking the damage. And yes, the interrupt against Benale. Ooh, a little bit too late. The 4 shots are fired. Russia's falling behind again. Just a little bit. Huh. Gotta be careful, boys. The Russians are trying to do what they can here. But it's starting to become a little bit more tricky as the game continues. I mean, the late game setup with Samuro is strong for France. Ooh, talking Samuro, by the way, he's been taken down in the mid lane, but down here, the counter kill. Honestly, it feels a little bit like this is just a boxing match, right? It's just like blow for blow the entire time. Kill for kill, one after another. Talking kills, Banana H in trouble, but the kill against Vala. She's down. And didn't we say counter kill? Indeed we did. There goes Li Ming. She's dead too. It's the game that keeps on giving. 5 against 4. Kill after kill after kill after kill. Every single time a hero dies, there's immediate turnaround. Immortal now sitting at the top. Kind of interesting, by the way, that the hero that tries to activate his trade value is called Immortal. Not quite sure if that's the best hero to take, dude. The only thing that could have been a little bit more memey on his part is if they would have gone for Murky with him. But there's also a little bit more that they go for, and that's the mid lane. The rotation towards the top, but the ult is activating at the bottom of the map, and now another chance for Dequaza to maybe get some pressure onto the top lane forward. Level 13 talents are ready for both of the teams, and that gives us, amongst other things, also the shielding now for Rega. The little doggy, the French bulldog, is trying to get the heals through. Which in and of itself is a little bit weird. And also with another stack acquired, the quest is completed for Vala. Just as she picks up the Siphoning Arrow on level 13. Question is, of course, what are we going to get on level 16? Still the Frost Shot for a little bit more control during the fights? Or are we going to see her go full on into the damage build with a Seething Hatred once that level 16 talent drops? A question to be tabled for now and answered later. But we still have the aggression as Samuro comes in. They're trying to get the lockdown against Mal'Ganis. And yes, Masquerade is in trouble. There's the Strafe. Tranquility is used too. Dequaza himself is a little bit low and has to switch out. But they're starting to get the damage in. And down here, Masquerade is just saying, you know what? Screw that team fight. I'm just gonna go for the Soak now. Let's get that channel. Altar time, baby. Expulsion so nicely done, but Renella is just moonfiring away. Good Ancestral and Ixia to keep Zarya in play. And the turnaround kill against ETC. ETC locked down. Immortal in trouble. Not so immortal after all. Yeah, Leo goes down. And that could very well end with 2 altars grabbed by France. They're already soaking the one to the top. That's another 4 shots fired as the core drops down to 24. And the fight continues at the bottom of the map. Kiev has to move away with his Li Ming for just a moment. The Russian team still being a bit aggressive around it. And with Leora coming back, they can. But here comes the level 16. Shifting Sands. Okay, Fallander still firing away, but the Russians again, they're starting to fall behind and the kills are getting picked up. Leo comes back and he dies a second later. Dequaza on the other hand gets dropped too. Yeah, Nenopi. That's a good advantage for him. Another shot fired, but that's another kill. Ixia is gonna fall. Yeah, he's gonna fall 100%. The problem is, despite the fact that they're picking up kills, they can't pick up the objective, as it seems. The Russians have lost so many of these altars, now they're down to 20 points against 32. That is becoming an issue, and a big one at that. So, if the Russians want to do something here, they have to start taking these structures. And that push through the bottom of the map is a good opportunity, and damn son! Mosh pit, baby! Okay. Is that a drop? Ooh, for just a second, I honestly thought that he is dropping out of the game. That could have been a kill if the power slide was ready on size. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but either way, the fort is taken. And with that bell tower converted, I mean, this is the play on the map to start a comeback. So this is actually quite solid. Not only do we end up with Seething Hatred on 16 as the additional talent is picked up by Russia, but they have bot lane control now and can play around that. So far, so good. But yeah, ooh, look at that. Hunger of the wolf. Yeah, that little wolf is hungry. That little wolf wants a bite. Blind as a bat. Also taken by Mal'Ganis. Okay. Let's see what he can pull off with that. It's honestly a little bit weird. If you think about it, Mal'Ganis with that talent is more blind than Illidan. Which is kind of surprising considering that the guy is also wearing a blindfold. But yeah, I don't know. Some things don't have to make sense in the Nexus. Tycho has lost his cigar, God knows why. Dragonite lost a couple of voice lines. For the oh so important lore, ladies and gentlemen. The oh so important Nexus lore. But yeah, aren't we all happy that we have that now? So many original characters. Aren't we thankful for Kira, for a good old Coffin Girl? Those are the heroes that everybody waited for. 5 shots fired! And topside. Leo's already moving away. Leo is also about to die, I might add. Can they actually interrupt that? And the answer is no! Damn! They still lose points compared to their opponent. That's crazy! They lost 2 altars, 6 points against them. And they only got 1 altar through, which of course fires 5 now since they have bot lane control, but still. I expected them to grab at least 2 out of that. So now top side, or in the middle, another fight. There's the Blade Master. And Drenella gets out. Nice! But the quick turnaround against Masquerade. And now he's in trouble. Mal'Ganis is trying to get out. The damage is there. Good ancestral healing. Nicely done by Banana Age. Well done here. So starting to make their play at the top lane, and this is where slowly and steadily Samuro is starting to take the altar down. What's the damage output actually? Where's my girl sitting? 67,000. Yeah, there we go. Vala, nice. Seething Hatred build this time. 67,000 damage. Masquerade gets interrupted there for just a second. Alright, here comes the Nature's Cure Cleanse. They're starting to take the camp. Experience is still pretty identical, I might add. And Samuro is rotating around, sending copies on every lane, thinking about joining the team fight actually. Copy gets taken down and the camp gets taken away. The Russians are a little bit hesitant today, aren't they? Yeah, the Russian team of old, they would have been a little bit more decisive. They would have been just full on YOLO in these situations. And these guys, they think things through a little bit more. Which might be a bit more problematic, but there's a double altar phase towards the top side, and that's another opportunity. Oh, that's the Entomb that missed. Masquerade might still be able to do something here, though. But not quite. Not able to set it up. There was actually the Quasar for a second that was in trouble, but he moved then to the top and is getting the channel here. So, let's see. 1 channel on the left, 1 on the right, 3 shots fired against 5. Bada bing, bada boom. 21 against 11, and the bottom bell tower is gonna be reclaimed in just a moment. Yep, there we go. Alright, so... Ooh, they claimed the boss in exchange for the bottom bell tower. That's not too bad. 17 against 11. This could get close. This could get really close. Boing. This one is at least stolen. There is obviously still that late game problem that you will potentially have where your opponent is just like raising down your structures. And with the elite experience now again claimed by a France, there's a good chance that especially Samura is going to make a play there. But it's all about the late game kills, and this is actually what both of them are looking for right now as the poke comes in. Another strafe set up to drop them low, and Ixia is eating the damage full on from Farlander as Chromie secures another bullseye shot right there. Yeah, and the pew 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 as Vala is getting one attack through after another. And at this point she's already sitting at 75,000 damage. 67,000 Chromie too. Damage output is definitely not a problem with them. You're still a bit in trouble. 114,000 siege damage for him. Definitely here to make these rotations, but level 20 talents are gonna be quite impactful here. And it's another double altar, and that might actually become a problem for Russia because they're level 20. Is that gonna be in time? The attempt to go... Oh, what a nice mosh pit. Single target mosh pit, and it's totally worth it. Absolutely worth it. Nicely done. Samuro thinks he has a lot of escapes in this case, and it turns out, well, he doesn't. And now there's a double altar up for grabs. It's gonna be tricky to take though, because Ixia can just literally sit here the entire day and just get one grenade in after another. So they need to make sure that they're grabbing this one first, and then they can still make the rotation over. They need to, in the meantime, ensure that nothing's taken, but there's 20 versus 20. 4 shots are already fired, and all of a sudden it's 13 against 11 points. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Another attack. This time the Ancestral is through, and it's time to shine. The kill on Li Ming as she goes in, wants to get the second mage, and as it turns out, the little sand gnome is dead too. Double kill by Kirva. Kirva is going in. Russia thinks Kurva, and that's that. Yep. Double kill, triple kill. It's a triple, baby! And with that, we have another 4 shots potentially fired by France, but seems like they're trying to get the bottom bell tower first. And you can't really blame them. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. Damage output, 61,000. Here over the big boy plays. And that's that. Boom! 5 shots fired, they're gonna put him down to 6. As the channel, this time they let it through. And now they might be able to get a bit more with Samuro himself. Bam! Also, double camp control. Ooh, if they can get both of them through, then it's lights out. And 2 heroes are still down, one of them being ETC, and that's the best one to make this play. Yeah, ETC is the best one to go for the interrupt, so 4 seconds, he might just be back in time. This could be nasty. And talking about camps, Samuro is getting another one at the top of the map. Down here, action is real, 1 shot is fired, and that puts them down to 5. There's the kill against Chromie, and yes, that's... Oh, nicely done! Li Ming! Perfect plays here, double kill, and they go for more. The dance party is in, but Kiewa makes the play once more. I mean, seriously, the guy is going straight in for the moves. Tequaza is joining the party now. And dies. Oh, he's not the only one though. Kiewa goes down too. All of a sudden, the Russian team comes back into this. Nano P! The Juke Master 2000 is in play, but this one can't juke out anything. So can the Russians really turn this back? I kind of doubt it a little bit. It's 3 kills against 3 kills. In total, we have 14 against 11, but it's only 3 points left on the core. And there's a single altar spawning on the map. It's becoming a bit problematic. 6 against 2 bell towers. That's a huge problem. Okay, so trying to get a bit of damage down here. I mean, it's going to take Vala quite some time to grab this. They need to try and fight for this one. Honestly, this is one of the most annoying things. Even if Russia wins a fight and grabs this one, what are they going to get? 2 shots fired against the opponent? Congratulations. I'm not going to really care about that. Okay, they gotta get a little bit more if they pull that off, because they at least secure themselves the control of the bot lane bell tower again. So that's at least 3 shots fired. That works. Kieva's still sitting there. Yeah, they know that there's a chance of this one happening. Alright, 10 against 3 points. The Russians aren't out of this yet. The Russians are not out of that one. Okay. Now you have to be careful. This is a bit of a problem for Team Russia. They need to monitor the boss, and at the same time try to regain control while not losing bot lane control again. It's just too many moving pieces, to be honest. 98,000 damage now for Vala, and this one is getting burned down within seconds. So they're pretty much going for a bell tower trade, but that's going to allow Russia to take the boss off the board. That's actually important. So this is not bad. This is actually pretty good for Russia. Now they have to, of course, defend the bot lane after this again, but this removes the boss as a macro play for France, which is important. So now that we have the 4 shots fired, it means we're looking at 6 points against 3, and it gets incredibly close in this game. But with the bot lane control, we have now a double camp participly set up from Team France, the blue team. Allez le bleu, because they're trying to make the play here, but I'm not so sure if this is really gonna pan out the way that they intended. They're not getting as much out of that bot lane as they probably hoped for. Oh, but that altar spawn is perfect. Just spawns at the bottom of the map, very difficult to access it for Team Russia, unless they burn the bell tower down. And guess what? They're actually pulling that one off, aren't they? Well, they're trying. There's the Entomb, and can they get a kill? They're trying, but they're not able to pull that off. Alright, altar is spawning in just a little bit. It's another 8 seconds, and here we go. There's another fountain coming up too. That's a big one. Nano P will have to channel that once that they're ready. Guys, this is gonna get so close. What a game already again. Yep, there's the fountain. This time they can actually access it. And here come the shots. Everything is getting fired right now. Can France take it? Immortal goes down on Leo. Tries to trade his life for this, but now it's a 5 versus 4. And France with the Ancestral on Mal'Ganis as they're going into the fight once again. The timeout already on the side of Chromius. Renella goes down, and that might just be the end of it. 2 heroes down, 3 down, 4 down. A full 5-man wipe as the French team obliterates them, gets the channel, and exceeds the lead in the series to a 2-0 over Russia in this best of 5 in the round of 8. Nicely done, as we are about to head into game number 3. Game number 3. France is in the lead with a 2-0, and we're heading into the 3rd game. And, well, at this point, Russia really needs to step it up if they don't want to drop out of the tournament. This is single elimination. We don't have a loser bracket. If Russia loses here, then it is all over. Now, there is a little bit of a home advantage for them, since they play on Volskaya Foundry. And actually, interestingly enough, they even picked the map. So it's not like France gets the map pick because Russia says, okay, we need our first pick, first ban. Nope, quite the opposite. They play in red, now they play also on home turf with Volskaya. So can they actually... Yeah, can they take this now? A little bit of Moskovskaya before Volskaya, and there we go. And they ban out Zarya. Okay, so now they deny any kind of Russian influence to the French. I mean, maybe the French team snuggled a little bit with a bottle of Smirnoff before the match. Certainly some of the strategies seem to be a little bit creative and would support that theory. But outside of that, every single Russian influence they could pick for their own side is now more or less gone. So Chromie gets banned, so does Junkrat. Zarya banned out. I guess you could also ban Ana at this point if you wanted to. Rexa also potential ban, considering that we have 2 teams that played him in the past. But it's the tanks. Now people have been afraid of the German tanks quite a bit, and for good reason. The French tanks, on the other hand, I thought they had only... Well, didn't they only have the gear to retreat? Wasn't that always the problem? They had to drive backwards, and so they couldn't make their way to the front line. I might be a little bit mistaken there, but as far as I know, you only can go into reverse with them. So if anything, I would have been a little bit more afraid of the Russian tanks, because to my knowledge, those were quite well in winter scenarios, and Volskaya Foundry is exactly that. Li Ming again, Johanna, so we have actually good control over the checkpoint. We have Li Ming also with a little bit of pew-pew from the back. And on top of that, we have another potential pick. Ooh, by the way, I forgot someone. Yeah, Zarya is not only the only Russian influence that we have there. Another good pick for this map, if you want to go for a bit of a kill combo setup, is the good old Admiral. I guess Stukov has been a victim of cultural appropriation a little bit, because he was mainly played by a Spanish player for a long time, and so they kind of tried to get him into Spain. I don't know if he has a dual citizenship these days, but we talk about Admiral Gonzalez for a reason. So I don't quite know if Stukov these days counts as Russian, as Spanish, dual citizenship, who knows. But either way, we haven't seen him for a while, so maybe he's on a vacation. Samuro gets banned. Don't blame them at all for this one. Jaina picked together with Ana, so Nana boosted Jaina it is. And the third ban. What is France gonna ban out here? What are you afraid of? What's the hero where you really think, ugh, screw that guy? And I would say it's the Russian bear. Ban out Rexa. I don't think that's really gonna happen, but offlane ban would not be bad. There's still Leo around, Blaze is around, there's a lot of good offlaners available. And they ban out Malfurion. Guy with a green beard, also good ban, always suspicious. And let's see what they're gonna play now. Rhaegar is still up, played it earlier. There's Rhaegar and there's Blaze. Johanna, Blaze, solid setup. Very strong, powerful setup at the front. Very safe. You have the bunker, of course, too. I've been told those Russian bunkers are pretty durable. Leo on the map, trying to take out the trash. And the last pick. What are we getting with this? Boys, you need a little bit more damage. Ah, Jimmy! Jimmy over Vala for the auto attacks. Okay. Alright. Let's see what they can pull off with that. The good thing about Jimmy Vala doesn't have is he has the penetrating round and can push them back. Doesn't quite have the mobility of Vala, but again, has quite a few arguments in his favor. The penetrating round alone is pretty awesome if you have it secured for whenever Blaze is making an approach. And there's an NOP with Vala again. Alright. Vala with a big skin and her push-up rod trying to distract Mal'Ganis, Leoric and Reyna. That's a good strategy too. And yeah, let's go. People talking a lot about Tracer and how Blizzard is trying to sexualize her ass, not really paying any attention to the push-up bra that Vala is wearing with that one. I don't know what's going on there, but we're gonna find out on Volskaya who's gonna win the game. So let's jump straight in. Map number 3. Game on, boys and girls! Let's get ready. The potential last map in this best of 5 series. The French team looking powerful today. France now with Banana on Ana, Ana on Banana, Banana on Ana, and a Banana H with Ana. And Masquerade on Mal'Ganis. Dequaz on Leo, Ixir on Reyna, and Kira on Jaina. On the right side of the map, Farlander for the Russians on Liming. We have Ninopi on Vala. So Ice Cream on Johanna, Immortal on Blaze, and Renella on Rhaegar. Alrighty, let's go. Oh, there we go. Ixia, Gesundheit. Okay. Russia has to turn something around. Ooh, okay. A little bit of damage already from Farlander. I like that. A little bit of a sneaky combo here from the side. But still, they need to win this one if they want to have a chance to make it into the semifinals. Because right now, the French team has been rocking it. We're talking a lot about how Russia has a bit of an advantage because they play in hometown colors here, straight up in red. But at the same time, you look towards France and Allez le Bleu for a reason. And the Bleus have been allaying a lot. They've been allaying down the lane pretty easily and were able to win game number 1 and game number 2 without any big problems whatsoever. So, yep. Now we look towards the Russians. And Ice Cream up at the front. I mean, he needs to do something at this point. They need to get some good setup. Give me that Blessed Shield later. Nice lockdown against Ana or anybody else, and they can make the play there. But Banana H has been known for as one of the best Ana players for a long time. I mean, Banana's Ana is pretty bananas. And honestly, he's the guy who pretty much brought her back into the meta. 1 minute in, the camps are spawning, and it's time for the items, so we need to see the two teams go straight up for the turrets, but then of course it's the top that we're going to focus on. We're going to see how that's going to work out, because, well, this is the first big team fight usually in a game on Volskaya Foundry. And with that little home advantage for the Russians, they need to pull something off here. The only other map they can play, but they might have that winter advantage, is, of course, Alderx Pass. And, yep, there we go. I still think that it would be a fun idea for Blizzard when they are making these weird adjustments these days, now that we're having experienced globes joining the game soon. If they pull something off, like certain heroes pick together, give a little bit of extra synergy. A full orc team gives you a little internal trait bloodlust or something. Like, I don't know. Possibilities are endless. But either way, there's the fight that we've been talking about. The first 5 versus 5 is coming in as expected, and turrets are getting dropped, but only one. The red team is actually walking away from it without picking the item. So right now, what happens is that one team is relying onto the healing beacon, and the other one has at least a turret in their hands. So, yep, that wasn't too bad. No kill. No kill just yet. No hybrid build for Vala this time either. Going into punishment for the extra wave clear. And of course, with punishment, we're also going to see Arsenal. Dominance for Li Ming. And everybody's just setting this up for the big fight. And with that combo at the front line, you have an easy wave clear. I mean, their wave clear potential is absolutely insane. The AoE that they can also put onto any fight on those checkpoints is pretty strong for them too. And talking about the checkpoints, the first one is about to spawn. So that's something that we actually have to watch out for, because that is where the momentum starts. You grab the protector, you take the opponent's fountain on the top lane out, and then you have the lead for the second objective. So let's see how this is going to work out. They're a little bit alone here. I mean, Johanna needs to be cautious. If she gets dropped by this that early, that would be a problem. But they're having Blaze at the bot lane a little bit longer. He's already burning the wave down just as Leo comes in. I shall Swiffer! Yep, trying to clean house. He's trying to take out the trash. And in this case, they're trying to take out Immortal. And that might actually just work out. But here comes the cavalry. So Ice Cream moving in from the side. And that penetrating round that I highlighted during the draft. Used immediately. It's a really good tool if you want to stop your opponent's approach. And even if Johanna iron skins it, you pretty much bait that cooldown out early, and then you can focus on her when she makes the move. So, okay, so level 7 talents, and there we go. Power spike activated. Calamity. Li Ming has the overtime. Now they have to really fight for this one. Both of the teams, by the way, with level 7 at this point. Even fight, therefore. Ooh, the setup, and Immortal in trouble. Goes for the stun, but it is. The healing beacon is out, and so Ice Cream is down. Jimmy goes in and takes Johanna down, and the French team, ladies and gentlemen, is just rocking it here. Fantastic performance so far. Likely going through the wall and then rotating topside, as mentioned earlier. And this is honestly a great start for them. It's a very impressive series. I said it in game number 1 that I actually expected this to at least go 4 maps, but potentially even 5. And I gotta say that this is kind of what I expected. It's pretty cool to see how strong France is here. But Russia seems to be a little bit out of that depth. So this is obviously only the round of 8. So as we're heading into the next round of the tournament, we can actually expect games to even be a little bit closer. But it's still a surprise that Russia hasn't been able to win the map yet. Again, not the Russian team that we had in the last Nations Cup. Obviously Stork, just to name one example, is missing, as a few others do. But now at the bottom of the map, Immortal is trying to push that out. I mean, they're trying whatever they can. They have to somehow play around this. The objective has already been reached. They're not even going for the Protector anymore at this point. They have already done what they wanted. They took down 2 walls. They took down also the fountain topside. That's all that they really want to do here. So that's the setup. They have the earlier level 10, which leads into an additional item that they can take. And this is honestly the key on this map. You have an advantage and you want to push it. You get a Protector, you go for the fountain. You get level 10 earlier, you go for items. You get a super early level 10, you try to push down the fort or another lane. So this is the big thing about Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm is honestly about 2 things in particular. You have to be able to counter 5. That's one of the most important things, and it's actually kind of frightening how few people are able to do that. AKA, if your opponent has 5 heroes, you count to 5. If you don't have 5 heroes, but you only have 4, you back the fuck out of there. If they have 4 and you have 3, you get the hell out of there. So every single time you had a numeric advantage, you basically just move away. Every single time you had a talent advantage, you just wait a little bit. These are 2 of the biggest rules in Heroes of the Storm. And the next one is every single time you have an advantage, you're trying to do something with it. You have an early level 10, steal a couple of... take either a fort down, a keep down, or try and steal a couple of items away. You have a 5 versus 4 somewhere on the map, force a fight and go for it. Easy principles that somehow seem to be very, very complicated when put into practice, but at least here on the high level, we have a lot of that being displayed, and team is actually playing around this, as France is currently showcasing quite nicely. Here's the level 10s on both sides now, and immediately that fight breaks out as we have level 10 ills, and that could be a kill. Nano P is low and might just die as we have the aggression from Jaina. There's the trade. Leo goes down, but the problem is it's still a 2-for-1 as 2 Russians fall, but Jaina gets also eliminated as they're moving in for the quick kill. They're even trying to go for Banana H here, but Ana is still totally fine. Item on the ground again, Ixer in play, tries to get the kill in. They're going for Rega, but Jimmy dies first. The dog is taken down too though, and the Quasar is just now coming back. 4 kills against 3, and we still have the exact same setup that we saw in the previous games. Blow for blow in the early game, 1 hit after another. No, but seriously, like, this is the cool thing about the early stage between those two teams, at least. It's just blow for blow the entire time. You get a kill, there's a counter kill. You get a second, there's another one on the other side. It's just pretty awesome to see these early battles. It just feels that the macro play from France is a little bit better. Okay, so down to the bottom of the map. Immortal already sitting right here. And let's see. Level 10, 13. Oh, ho, wait, what? Stormfront. Okay. Oh! Yeah, they pushed a lot through to take Ixer down, and it didn't work out for them. Ah, that was unfortunate. That was really unfortunate. They wanted that kill, and they needed that kill. And they used 2 heroics to pull it off, and they didn't make it happen. Yeah. Alright, now they have a problem. 13 versus 13, but this is gonna become a little bit nasty. Now, Leo has shown at the bot lane, so they've seen him as he cleared the wave, which is why they can make the move for the minions now and the item, and they are grabbing this one, so that gives them a bit of an advantage again, but still, fighting for that protector is now gonna be tricky, especially since Jimmy has his own ult back too. Okay. And, well, there we go. They're starting to make their move to the top lane. Okay, nice. Again, these penetrating rounds that we're seeing from Ixia are absolutely spot on and shut down the Blaze engage super early. There's the Entomb completely missing, zoning them out a little bit, but it doesn't have as much of an impact as they wanted to. Nice bunker placement as well, but they still might fall as they're getting zoned again, and Ixia is just getting a full line of sight and gets the hits in against 2. The last hits by Leoric and Jaina as Johanna and Blaze die. And that's 6 kills against 4 now, and a potential second protector for the team in blue. Allez bleu, as France is setting their sights onto the semi-final. They need to win 1 more map in order to qualify for it, and this might just be the one. So at this point, let's have a look at the damage output. Jaina on 25,000 damage. Fort at the top lane gets nearly eliminated by those minions alone. Nano P is trying to help out, but well, there's only so much that she can do. And here comes the protector. Usually you go to the bot lane to prepare for objective number 3, but you can easily move through the fort first if you want to, and that's exactly where they're headed. Alright. And there we go. Gets a little bit of extra damage in. That's a decent defense that is set up there. They're going for a full 5-man defense against this, and since nobody else is pushing any other lane, they can definitely do that. But again, what's the problem? It's the next talent. Level 16 is close for France, and that's when they're going to try and force a couple of fights. That sleeping dart is also always a problem. A little bit of extra damage in the mid lane, getting the cooldowns out, but as mentioned previously, the main point is to take down the opponents found at the bottom of the map. That's the big one. That's really what you're trying to pull off here. And they're jumping in for that immediately. Take the fountain, take the fort. And the attempt of Team Russia is to defend for as long as they possibly can and maybe jump into that back line. But Blaze already a little bit in trouble. Entomb didn't get too much for them. They still have bunker available, so that's a big one. Jaina hasn't taken a talent yet, but so far also in Immortal. And here we go. Jaina completing her baseline, which means Ice Block is now available for her too. And they're zoning them out behind the fort still. And Jaina going full into the Blizzard setup here. And especially with Entomb, you can get that damage through. If Leo sets up a good Entomb and you get the entire Blizzard through, the Snowstorm can really help you a lot to get extra damage into play. 16 versus 16 talents in just a few more seconds, but 2 forts are eliminated on the red team's side, and they lost control over the bot lane, which means thanks to that fallback option on the French side, they now have still a fountain available, so whenever this objective comes up, there's a retreat point for the French, and the Russians are gonna be struggling to get that set up. So top side, this is where we currently have Leo ghosting around, and there's the 16, so they're trying to force a fight over the item, and why not? They need to get something done. They Quasar could still go for the Entomb, has it available. They're trying to get the kill against Blaze. Where's the Entomb when you need it? There it is, and that should be a kill. Well, maybe it's a turnaround, honestly, now that I looked that through. Blessed Shield was good, but where's the damage? Ring of Frost fails a little bit, so that ring didn't hit a lot, but they're still hitting the dog, and the dog is down. Trading for Leo, as we said previously, always a good one. Leo is going to spawn back on site. If you go for trades and you can trade Leo for another hero, then that is always a good one. Well, for the nitpickers here, aka the Germans, sitting there with a notepad, obviously not always. If your Leo team is 3 levels ahead of the opponent, then you don't want to go for that 1-for-1 trade because the underdog experience bonus is there. But outside of that, in most situations, what is he doing? You're not supposed to fuck that turret, dude. You're supposed to just pick it up. I know you had one already, but seriously, sexually assaulting a turret? Like, that gets the Twitter hashtag going pretty quickly, and if you're not paying attention, you're going to be banned for life out of this game. Be a little bit more careful, my friend. The Nexus is a respectful environment, and we cannot endorse such behavior. Alright, Jaina picked the turret up, as it was humped by Mal'Ganis, and saved it. So good for Jaina. But 7 kills against 5. Damage output. Quick look at that. 33,000 right there. 38,000 for Li Ming. I mean, Li Ming is trying to play her heart out at this point. But the thing is always, how many kills can you get? A bigger one. Oh, we're talking about kills. Alright, then they try again. Already the totem on the ground, which slows them down obviously quite a bit now that level 16 is also there. Honestly, it's just a control point matter. You have that fountain. I don't think level 20 is going to become an issue anytime soon, but still, it's a problem. Having that fountain there alone is such a big deal. The shield is still out. I mean, there's the drain. Sleep on... Farlander. Dodge and is able to get away. Yeah, the Ancestral just in time, but Leo... Oh my god, he is just moving away from the Ring of Frost straight into the arms of Reyna, who just hits him hard. And Nano P is gonna die too. Nano P is down, Rega is down too, Vala has been eliminated, and Immortal has been dropped as well. Honestly, if you look at the setup that we have, I mean, especially on the kills, Vala has already died 2 times. And there's a lot of attention on Vala, and you cannot really blame the French team. Again, I said it during the draft, if you go for that skin and you have that cleavage, of course the hero is going to draw a lot of attention. As usually as Vala, you're trying to fly under the radar a little bit. You're trying to be that stealthy guy that comes in from the side and drops them. But in this case, you're just signaling your position to everybody that is in sight. So that's a problem. 12 kills against 5. Now we have a full 5-man wipe, which leads to the keep pretty much taken down before anything else happens, and Mal'Ganis has started to go for the Protector again. The situation is rough for the Russians. I am actually amazed. Russia might actually go out of this tournament with an 0-3 in the round of 8 match, and that's kind of crazy. Granted, they're up against France here, but I thought they would at least pick up a map, if not 2, and really force a strong game. But the French team is one of the favorites here for a reason. They're pulling that off once more. It's impressive. It's honestly impressive. The French definitely have now put themselves even more so on the map for this tournament. So right now, looking quite powerful with this little setup. And 12 against 5, 2 levels ahead. I'm getting the fort in the middle of the map. There's a big, small... Well, there's a last-ditch fight that is being forced by Russia as they are hoping for a 5 versus 4 advantage for a few seconds. Even that doesn't really work out. Good cleanse from Renella, but they're all getting locked down again, and that damage output is just way too much. Down goes Li Ming, and what an Entomb at the Ring of Frost shortly after. 1 kill, 2 kill... It's triple, baby, and they're looking for more. And they can't even kill Jimmy. Jimmy doesn't even care. He just sits there and they're going for the second 5-man wipe. 17 kills against 5. France is absolutely shitting all over Russia at this point. They're moving into the middle through 2 keeps, and why not? 5 heroes are down. The only thing that's missing is the core, and that one gets dropped within seconds as well. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Another team making it to the semis. The French team with a fantastic performance here, crowning themselves the champion of this particular best of 5. As we move on to the next round, the Russian team eliminated from the Nations Cup. GG, and well played by France. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video, and I hope that you enjoyed the match and the commentary. The remaining time of the video has been added to protect against spoilers caused by the length of the video itself. But please keep in mind, though, that this does not only mean more work for me, but also has a negative impact on the popularity of the videos and the channel because of YouTube's algorithms. It would be greatly appreciated if you'd consider supporting the channel and help me to continue the daily esports coverage by clicking the join button below the video or supporting me through the Patreon page linked in the video description. Thanks a lot for the support, and see you guys next time.